All right. What some people have been waiting for all week. I thought I'd do it first today before they fall off to sleep. I like it. I like it. All right, come on, friends. Let's be positive about ourselves. What are some of our strengths? Okay. Ability, yes, experience, that's number 2. Very good. Ability to plan and strategize, yeah. Ability to think it's number 3. To think logically and reason inductively, whatever that means. And previous experiences, right? Yeah, so you can make intelligent assumptions about learning the language. Highly motivated to learn what is useful and practical. In adult education, say adults go on courses that they can use the content in their daily life, and hopefully language learning is one of those. But friends, we have to be realistic. What are some of the negatives, okay, of the older language learner?
Hearing?
Yes, hearing, we already mentioned that, right? That we think we're saying what we're hearing, and then the teacher says, no, you got it wrong, pronunciation and tones. Yeah, the area of hearing. What are the areas of weakness? Memory. Actually, in some respects, we say memory, but we can memorize things, right? You've memorized everyone's name on OC. What's the problem? It's not so much memory, but
retention.
Yeah, well, or recall.
Recall,
Yeah, you know, just when you need it, it's not there. You know what I mean? So we can memorize things, but the real problem. Yeah, right, we lost it somewhere in the filing system. Recall, yeah. And also another problem is speed of processing. It takes longer to process something. The 20-something person in the next classroom, or even worse, in the same class, you know, and they've got it, where the older person. So in that area of memory loss, not so much we can't memorize, but recall is slower, speed of processing is slower. What might be another area of problem for the older person?
Concentration.
Oh, I see, yeah, concentration, right.
Lack of confidence.
Yes, I think the whole area of confidence, self-worth, and therefore speaking doubts to themselves. You know, I could be doing something if it wasn't for this language. Or in the past, I know that if I put in this much effort, I get that much out and results. And it's important for me to be producing. Yeah?
Taking what you have up on the board there and turning some of those things around. Some of my intelligent assumptions may be incorrect.
Oh, okay.
Also, the next one, highly motivated to learn what is useful and practical. Therefore, I'm not going to take the time to learn what I consider to be unuseful and impractical.
Right.
And again, that's an opinion that I have.
Yes.
So those could be weaknesses.
Yes, especially on the second one, and it's not just the older people. People have said to me, oh, I pick out from this lesson the words I think are useful and ignore the others. I think that's terribly dangerous. You know, I think that's terribly dangerous. Yeah. People who have been competent, able, successful, and have liked the fact that they've been successful and have liked the applause that they get from that, and then no one's clapping anymore. You know, that's really hard. But as I say again, what I think the older language learner has, we're not going to put an age on it. The older language learner is all day long they're sending negative messages to themselves. They're sending negative. It's about time the mission realized that to ask people like me to have to learn this language, why don't blah, 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 and that sort of thing. Spend a lot of time eating away at their self-confidence, as someone said. All right, come on, let's be positive. How do you compensate for your decline in hearing and memory, as well as the daily attacks on your self-esteem? Here we go. Find out more about yourself, so that's why you came on OC. I think this is very important. Individualize the learning program, firstly by hiring a personal tutor. Avoid classes. I remember once, I think I was in Xi'an, and this person said to me, she was really depressed. She said, every day when I walk home from school, I say to myself, you were bottom of the class yet again, you know? I said, well, that's easy to solve. You see, you have a personal tutor. Then when you walk home from school, what do you say to yourself? I was top of the class. The feeling's different. You see what I mean? And that's what she did. Yeah. Any more than just you? Well, two, maximum of 2 students. Seriously, the problem is for they need, if we put the rest on, well, the course content. When it's one-on-one, you're more in control of the content. You see, the problem for David is that he will be going to a school where the teachers or the school will decide which textbook he's going to study. But it might not be the one most suitable for him. You see, that's the problem. We're out of control when we're in classes, okay? Taught at a pace you can handle. Again, the problem with classes, especially in China, is the teacher says, you have to complete teaching this book. So, sorry, the school says to the teacher, you have to complete teaching this book this semester. And what happens often with the older learner is they begin to feel they're drowning. Here comes yet another 40 new words, and I don't think I've got the others yet. And the drowning feeling is never very nice, okay? Sorry, and so actually, I'd almost say just keep away from any class, whether it's 2 or 3 or 4. One-on-one, then you can go at your pace, you can tell the teacher what you want to learn, and she can cooperate with you. I think this is very, very important.
What about with refresher?
Yes, I'm concerned more for those in the early stages. In fact, almost the whole of what I'm trying to share on OC is more for those in the early stages. I think with a refresher you also need one-on-one because you have specific needs which are clear about, and there'll be no one who could really quite fit into your class according to your present level of ability and what you need. So I think with refresher courses, yeah, you definitely need it one-on-one. Yeah. Learning strategies, try out different things and find what works well for you. And because of the weaker auditory, use visual, use hands-on, tactile, much more. But there's something now I want to say, which I think is very important. Okay. Topics. First cover those topics that you most frequently talk about. And I think there are 4. Introducing yourself, okay, buying things, ordering food in a restaurant, and giving and asking directions. That's what we do most of our time in the early days. Okay, introduce yourself. I'm from England. I'm a student at a school. I'm learning Chinese. Okay, buying things. I want a, and then the noun. Okay, or food in a restaurant. I want a plate of whatever it is. Giving directions, say to a taxi driver, turn right, turn left, go straight ahead, stop here. And these, I would suggest, cover something like 80% of what we need to handle in our early days. So let's get these up and running first, okay? How can we do that? If the textbook's any use, those 4 topics ought to be in book 1, okay? But the dialogues, it's about an American and I'm British, and he's a doctor and I'm an accountant, and he's something and I'm something else. So rewrite those dialogues of those 4 topics to your situation. What food do you like to buy in the restaurant? Okay? Rewrite the dialogues for ordering the food that you like to buy. Get your teacher to correct those dialogues, so the Chinese or the Thai or whatever it is good, and then every 10 minutes at the beginning of class, practice them, okay? You see, what you find with the older language learner is, I remember once in Xi'an, I had 5 in a row, all the same. They were now in book 3, lesson 30-something. Here comes another 40 new words today, and yet they know they haven't got the vocabulary memorized from book 1 yet. You see, more keeps coming like waves, and yet they know they haven't got book 1 down yet. And so what they need to do is to try and slow this thing down. Okay? They want to move on, but move on much more slowly. And to slow it down, get what you need to communicate and keep practicing that every day in class. Especially if you have 2 or 3 teachers each day at different hours, you can go over the same thing with your teacher every day. Okay? And in this way, you're going to get a greater measure of self-confidence. All right? So moving on slowly, but get these confident, and then gradually add more things to your sort of repertoire, maybe traveling, maybe sports, maybe learning the language, that sort of vocabulary that you need. Any questions on this? The older language learner. Okay? So get what you need. I remember those people in Xi'an, I said to 3 of them, I said, why don't you go back to book 1, lesson 1, and start all over again? And they said, can I? I said, yes, you can. I should be Catholic rather than Protestant. I go around China absolving people of their guilt. So, yeah, slow the pace down. You can't do that in a class, but you can do it one-on-one, all right? Any questions on that? Are the oldies here feeling a bit better? Still awake? Mm-hmm. Good. I just want to throw out one more thing which is partly related to this, but to those, I've already said this before, and I just want to review it in just a couple of minutes. Those whose listening comprehension is weak for some reason. What you need to do is 3 things. You need input at I+1, and you need to create safe places, probably your home and hopefully the language school, with people who are warm and empathetic. Okay? Warm, friendly, empathetic. This is what the older language learner and also those whose listening comprehension are weak, these 3 things. Input at your present level, but something just slightly higher, in safe places that you create, probably your home, inviting people to come in. Okay? That's going to give you opportunities to practice and get fluent on those things. Okay? Okay with that? Just wanted to throw that one in on there.